You ever have one of them days where absolutely nothing goes right? Yeah, I'm having one of those kind of days today. Kind of a lazy day, but everything I try to do seems to go wrong. But what's up, y'all? How the hell's your day going? I hope you're having a good day. As you can tell, I'm not having the best day in the world. We're kind of Murphy's Law kind of day going type of thing. But what's up? Hope you're having a good day. Hey, if you're new around here, smash that subscribe button for me if you don't mind. It would be a big favor. We cover news, mostly political news. We do cover a little bit of cultural stuff. And boy, some of the cultural stuff I've been put out lately has gotten a lot of attention. People sure do have a lot of opinions over the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin thing. Yeah. I'll just put it that way. People have their opinions, and they are strong opinions, I will say that. And hey, man, I do appreciate everybody leaving the comments down below. It sure does help. I love replying to you guys, whether we agree or we disagree. I love it. So just keep that in mind. Bring your opinions on. I love hearing from you guys out there. So leave a comment down below. And if you could do me a huge favor, smash that like button right now. If you don't mind, it would be a big favor. It helps out with the algorithm, promote the videos, get the message out, because the news we cover, you're not going to hear in the mainstream. That's right. I try to cover stuff that you're just not going to hear about. Stuff that seems important. Obviously, I feel like it's important to get the news out. So that's what I do. That's what we're going to do. Kind of a slow news day today, so this one's kind of iffy, but like I said, slow news day, so let's get into it. The debate over Ukraine aid was already complicated, then it became tangled up with U.S. border security. Yep, that's right. Yep, they're trying to throw the Ukraine aid with border security funding, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why the hell would you put those two together, of all things to put together? Why Ukrainian aid and border funding? But that's what they're done. That's what they're going with. So let's go ahead and get into this story. As war and winter collide, a top advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky acknowledged during a recent visit to Washington that the days ahead will be tough as his country battles Russia while U.S. support from Congress hangs in the balance. President Joe Biden's nearly $106 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other needs sits idle in Congress, neither approved nor rejected, but subjected to new political demands from Republicans who are insisting on U.S.-Mexico border policy changes to halt the flow of migrants. Right, so they're wanting to tie some because they think they'll get more support from Republicans in the House. But see, my position is on something like this, you're dangling border security to get you some Ukrainian aid. Why do you want that Ukrainian aid so bad? Why are these people have such a strong need to want to help Ukraine so freaking badly? It's one of the most corrupt places in Europe. Okay? Yeah, sure, it was bad. Putin's an evil guy for invading over there, but this is not some bastion of democracy that we're trying to protect over here, okay? These people are not nice people, and I don't understand why we want to help them so much. I mean, I do understand, yeah, Putin bad for invading, but, obviously Putin has dug his claws in over there, and he's not going anywhere. That's clear. Those lines of control haven't really changed, despite what the mainstream news has been telling you. They've been telling you this whole time that Ukraine is winning, right? Oh, we're beating them back. We're beating them back. But go look at the lines of control. When you actually look and see what's going on over there, you realize that for somebody who's been winning this entire time, they sure haven't had much progress. They haven't done anything. Those lines of control are pretty much still the same. They go back and forth slightly, but they never really change. And that it's clear that Russia is not going to go any further. I could care less what anybody, any politician, what anybody in the mainstream news tells you. Russia is not going to go any further than what he is right now. That's all he wanted was the Donbass, and that other, I forget the name of it, it's not coming to me right off, but that Donbass region, Luhansk and Donetsk. That's all he wanted. He wanted his land bridge to Crimea because he has a naval base in Crimea that gives Russia access to the Black Sea. That's all he wanted. If it was up to me, I would bring Putin and Zelensky to the negotiating table and say, look, cut the lines of the control where it's at right now. It's kind of like, I feel like Vivek Ramaswamy does. You tell Putin to get out of his alliance with China, and he can have that little bit of land. Who gives a damn? Those people are Russian-speaking anyway. They wanted to live under Russia's rule for the most part, or at least that's what the vote said. So, let them have it. That's what I say. But it's enough. We're tired of people dying. We're tired of sending people in there to die. Americans, especially me, I'm tired of printing money to send over there. We already $34 trillion in debt, and we're printing more money to send to an endless war that's never gonna end if they just keep this up. They're gonna run out of people far long before they run out of determination. Obviously. But let's keep going. Linking Ukraine's military assistance to U.S. border security interjects one of the most divisive domestic political issues, immigration and border crossing, into the middle of an intensifying debate over wartime foreign policy. When Congress returns this coming week from the holiday break, Biden's request will be a top item on the to-do list, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Right. The stakes couldn't be higher. What stakes, I would like to know. Failure risks delaying U.S. military aid to Kyiv and Israel, along with humanitarian assistance for Gaza in the midst of two wars, potentially undermining America's global standing. I would really love to know how this person thinks that not giving money to Kyiv is going to risk anything with our global standing. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, us, just shelling money over to Ukraine, just giving them money and not having anything to show for it, them not winning, in other words, makes us look stupid. Israel is in a much better place than Ukraine is. We definitely really don't need to send anything over there to Israel to help them. They are doing just fine. I understand humanitarian aid for Gaza. Yeah, the people are getting shelled the hell out of. If you can keep it out of the hands of Hamas, hey, I'm fine with that. Humanitarian aid is great. But you got to be able to keep it out of the hands of Hamas. And Hamas controls Gaza. So, good luck with that. It's coming at a crucial time, said Luke Coffey, a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, which recently hosted Andriy Yermak, the Ukrainian president's chief of staff, at the discussion in Washington. We're running out of money, Coffey said in an interview. What just a year ago was overwhelming support for Ukraine's young democracy, I put democracy in quotes, as it reaches for an alliance with the West to stop Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion, has devolved into another partisan fight in the United States. Members of Congress overwhelmingly support Ukraine, embracing Zelensky as they did when he arrived on a surprise visit last December to a hero's welcome. But the continued delivery of U.S. military and government aid is losing favor with a hard right wing of Republican lawmakers with some Americans. Notice they said some Americans. I would beg to say it's most Americans. Nearly half of the U.S. public thinks the country is spending too much on aid to Ukraine. I would say it's probably more than that, according to polling from the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. Rather than approve Biden's request, which includes $61 billion for Ukraine, Republicans are demanding something in return. And that leads me to my next point on that. That is a lot of money. We've already sent $113 billion, just the United States. If you want to add everything up, Ukraine has received over $200 billion in military aid and humanitarian assistance and all this other shit. That is a lot. We have nothing to show for that. Plus, Republicans demanding something in return, right? So they're wanting more border security money. I think that is a bunch of BS. That is put there to try to coax Republicans into paying for this, but it's also put there to make the public think that, hey, the Republicans are fighting for the American people. We already have all the laws and all the funding to secure the border with right now. We don't need any more new border security funding. We already have all that. So that is a very mute point, and is just, it's a slap in the face to people like me and to people like you who are sitting there thinking, why the hell are we sending so much money to Ukraine? And why the hell are they fighting over this? Why the hell are they talking about border funding? We already have everything. All the laws are on the books. All the funding has been approved. Everything is there. We don't need any new border funding. It's already there. So this is just something to make it look like, oh, politicians are fighting for me and you. But they're not. It's just a bunch of BS made to make it look like they're doing something when they're just really sitting on their freaking hands. That's something I cannot stand about politicians, man. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky has said the best way to ensure GOP support for Ukraine is for Biden and Democrats to accept border policy changes that would limit the flow of migrants across the border with Mexico. We already have all that policy put in place. Like I said, everything is right there on the books. All the money's there, the law's there, policy's there, everything's there. The border agents are there. The border wall was being built, but they stopped that. It's all there. We don't need anything new, Mitch. I'm telling you, man, they think me and you are stupid. It's connected, he said in an interview with the Associated Press. To that end, a core group of senators, Republicans and Democrats, have been meeting privately to come up with a border policy solution that both parties could support, which is, like I said, it's already there. Go look it up. We already have everything. I'm not going to keep repeating myself on that. Unlocking GOP votes for Ukraine aid, which we don't need. Tired of printing money all the time. On the table are asylum law changes pushed by Republicans that would make it more difficult for migrants to enter the United States, even if they claim they are in danger, and reduce their release on parole while awaiting judicial proceedings. Republicans also want to resume construction of the border wall. They've already done that. What the hell are they talking about here? They've already resumed construction. Democrats call these essentially non-starters, and the border security talks are going slowly. Those who have worked on immigration-related issues for years see a political disaster in the making for all sides, and Ukraine included. Yeah. We don't need to be sending any more money over there. I think it's terrible that we're in a position we're in, said Senator Chris Murphy, who's a dipshit, by the way. But you know, we were talking all through the night and all day today, he said recently, trying to find a path forward. He added, I'm not confident we'll get there. Yeah, because all this is completely ridiculous. It's circular talking. And like I said, all it is to make you and me feel like they're doing their job, but they're not. Republicans even defend hawks who strongly back Ukraine, insist the money must come with U.S. border provisions. Why? Don't get that one. Why? The provisions are already there. Jesus. The reality is, if President Biden wants Ukraine aid to pass, we're going to have substantial border policy changes, said Senator Tom Cotton, often a McConnell ally on defense issues. The White House has requested roughly $14 billion for border security in its broader package, with money for more border patrol officers, detention facilities, and judges to process immigration cases. It also includes stepped-up inspections to stop the flow of deadly fentanyl, which, like I said, laws are already on the books to do all this. Why are they? It's like, once again, it's just there for show for me and you. Make it look like they're doing something. The news media is lying about it, acting like it's needed, but it's already there. Biden and his national security team, with key senators of both parties, with Congress narrowly split, Republicans holding slim majority control of the House and Democrats a close edge in the Senate, bipartisan agreement will almost certainly be required for any legislation to advance. That is correct. They are not lying about that. Pentagon funding for Ukraine is rapidly dwindling. The Defense Department has the authority to take up about $5 billion worth of equipment from its stockpiles to send to Ukraine, but only has about $1 billion to replenish those stocks. So military leaders are worried about the effect on U.S. troops' readiness and equipping. The need for an infusion of funding is growing by the day, said Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Singh. Overall, half the $113 billion Congress has approved for Ukraine since the war began in February 2022 has gone to Defense Department, according to the Congressional Research Service. The dollars are being spent to build Ukraine's armed forces largely by providing U.S. military weapons and equipment and replenish U.S. stockpiles. Much of the rest goes to emergency and humanitarian aid and to support the government of Ukrainian through the World Bank. In other words, they're paying for like emergency workers. They're paying the salary of, the cops, firemen, doctors, nurses, emergency room people. Yeah, they're paying the salaries of all those people. Your tax dollars are paying for their salaries. It's bullshit. That's one of the reasons I'm totally against it. Another reason is because they have no interest whatsoever in stopping the fighting. At all. They're just completely content with continuing to send billions and billions of dollars over there. Well, I'm not content with that. It's pissing me off. And I'm really glad that Mike Johnson got in there and he is putting a stop to this. He hasn't approved any more Ukrainian aid because we don't need it. National security experts have watched the Ukrainian forces repurpose outdated American equipment that was headed for decommissioning and use it to obliterate aspects of the Russian armed forces. Yeah, they love to see that. More death. Yeah, that's just great, people. McConnell has noted that much of the spending stays in the U.S., flowing to defense production in the states across the nation. Right. Ukraine is at a critical point, said Democratic Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, chairman of the Senate Armed Service Committee. The Russians are just counting on us to give up and walk away, and then they walk in. They've already walked in. What the hell is he talking about? They're not going to go any further, dude. But even border security provisions may not be enough to win over Republicans who are growing increasingly skeptical of Biden's vow to support Ukraine as long as it takes to defeat Russia. Ukraine is never going to defeat Russia. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. The only way Ukraine is going to defeat Russia is if the United States defeats Russia. One Republican Rep. Mike Garcia of California is trying to bridge the GOP divide by separating the military funds from the money the U.S. spends on Kyiv government and pushing the Biden administration to be more open about presenting a strategy for the war's endgame. Thank you, Mr. Garcia, who most of the time in these committee hearings is a jackass. But I will give him that. We need an endgame for this. And I really don't see it working out for Ukraine at all. They're gonna have to take some losses here. There's just no way they're gonna push Russia out from that little bit of strip of land. It's just not gonna happen. I can't see it happening. Garcia, who drafted a 14-page report that new Speaker Mike Johnson delivered during a recent White House meeting, said even with border security, Republicans will not approve the full amount for Ukraine that Biden has requested. Yes, thank you, because $61 billion is a lot. If the Ukraine budget part of it is still $61 billion, that ain't the right answer, said Garcia, a former Navy fighter pilot who flew combat missions during the war in Iraq. Other Republicans, led by Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, a Donald Trump ally, why does that matter, have drawn an even deeper line against Ukraine aid. Yeah, thank you. Yermak, during his talk in Washington, was thankful for U.S. support and blunt about the need for more. Yes, thank you for your support. Can I have another dollar? For them to go spend the dollar on bullshit. I tell you the truth, this winter will be tough for us, he said, using Americans to back Ukraine at this historical moment for all of us. Yeah, it's not historical for all of us. It might be historical for y'all, but I don't know. I just don't see an end to this that is going to fit with what Ukraine wants. They want to drive Russia completely out. Well, I'm sorry. That's just probably not going to happen at this point. You know, if it was up to me, you know, sure. Push Putin out. Why can't they just be friends? You know? Give Russia some control to go down to Crimea, whatever. Who cares about land? Why do humans need to die for them to settle a land dispute? I don't see that as being a righteous cost to pay for land disputes. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with that we shouldn't just throw people as human pieces of meat at a problem like that. Just send them out there to go die. Like it's nothing. Like human life doesn't cost anything. That's what all this is about, man. They're sending more money over there so more and more people can die. Yeah, to continue fighting. That's my big thing. Why haven't they tried to put a stop to this war? I mean, they derailed some peace talks that happened a while back, and they haven't had any more peace talks ever since, from what I know of, at least. I haven't heard any. If you've heard of some, let me know down in the comments if there's been any kind of diplomatic solution to this. I have no idea. I haven't heard of any, but that's all I got for this one, you guys. I've ran kind of long on this one, so I want to thank everybody for watching, and like I said, do me a big favor. Smash that like button, and if you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications, because like I said, I cover news, mostly political news, that the mainstream just isn't going to cover. So if you want to stay informed on some stuff that you're not going to hear about from the mainstream, right here's your place to be. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. But other than that, that's all I got for this one, y'all. Like I said, thanks for watching, y'all. Leave a comment down below, and try to have a good day and be positive. Peace.